Today is March 13th, 2011. I have a couple of more questions from some people that I'd like to answer, so let's get started. This is from Nick the Ninja. He writes, I just saw your videos on Navy SEALs. I was wondering if I told you what I was doing, if you could tell me if what I was doing was okay or if I need to do more, or if you can recommend anything else. I run 4 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 miles each time. We'll do 4 miles when I get my 3-mile time down. After that, I do my sets of push-ups, 5 sets of 20, 6 sit-ups, 5 sets of 20, pull-ups, 5 sets of 5. We'll be swimming 5 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I also work out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Getting into the SEALs is a bit easier now than when I went with my brother to try it out for SEALs and talked to a recruiter, and he was like, "You got it easy now." Appreciate it if you would give me some feedback. Thanks. Okay. Well, first I would say don't listen to the recruiters. No, it's nothing personal against the recruiters or whatever, but they have a job, and part of their job is to get you in. And so even when I was going, like, they weren't really helpful. The information they gave me was not accurate, and you don't know until you get in. I mean, I heard a lot of people saying, "Don't listen to the recruiters, don't listen to the recruiters," and I was like, whatever. My recruiters seemed cool. They seemed nice. They seemed honest. They seemed chill, but they weren't. Like I said, I am no expert. I'm just going off my experience and talking to people I know as SEALs, and whatever. But that's what I would recommend, talking to people who are actually in there or whatever. If I don't know, it depends on where you're from. I don't know, you may not be from California. If you were in California, I would recommend maybe going down to, even though it's like a military base or whatever. You can't get inside, but they do have like some people who might give you some answers, some questions and answers at the guest station, or you can ask for some contact information. So that's one thing. I wouldn't go 100% by that. It might be easier than when I went. It might be. I don't know. Like it's true. It's like based on a demand. Like if there are low on SEAL teams and they need some more guys, they may adjust some things. Yeah. So, but I wouldn't go off of them 100% because they get paid a lot. So that's just I'm saying. Me and a couple other guys, we had like a really bad experience with our recruiters. So that's just you wouldn't expect it, but it happens. But to get to the real issue, I think it sounds like you got like a pretty good workout routine. But I would recommend one thing. I helped me out a little bit was like I downloaded, and I had like this little workout book from this guy Stu Smith. Stu Smith has like this. He was a former SEAL. He has like a workout program that he has, which was kind of helpful. And basically, if you look at his stuff and you listen to and you look at some of the things they do in this Navy SEAL documentary the link I posted up on my last video, you'll see that it's a lot to do with repetition. It's all about repetition, like repeating the same stuff over and over and over again. So if you're doing, I think you said like 5 sets of 20, 5 sets of 20, that's pretty good. I think the it depends on you and your body type. The calisthenics part of it may not be that big of a deal. For me, it wasn't. For me, it was the swimming and the running. And the only reason why the running was an issue because my body just started giving out. Just old wear and tear. It was just interesting for me, and I recommend this maybe for some people, because they run a lot in the sand, as you probably know. But what a lot of people don't know is you run everywhere else on base also. And I don't give a shit what the recruiters say. I doubt now they bust you guys around. It's like, nah, you run everywhere. So you run from the barracks over to the grinder, or whatever, and that's I don't know if that's like a mile or something like that. It might be. But like you guys muster outside of your barracks in the morning in the butt crack of dawn, like 5 a.m. Your boat crew leader or the class leader gives you the rundown of shit or whatever for the schedule of the day, and you guys run across maybe on with packs and shit. Who knows? We'll do whatever you got going on. And so basically, here's the thing. It's like your body has to get used to two types of terrain. Like running on that concrete is not the same as running on the sand. Because before I went, I practiced running in the beach. Like I live in California, so they got beaches, the coast. So I practiced like running up the beach here, and I got pretty good. I was like, oh, this is it was like no big deal after a while. But what I didn't practice is running between sand and concrete, because I think that's what caused me. I had ITB. It's basically like the band along the line, the tendon along the side of your leg, it goes all the way down, was just inflamed, causing my leg to lock up. So that no matter how hard I tried, it was like it was like my leg would only go so far. It was like it got to a point where I could hear clicking because the tendon was like rubbing over it's nasty. But anyway, so I had to go to physical therapy while I was there, try to push through it, whatever. But so that's what I would definitely I would say maybe check out like Stu Smith stuff or whatever, see what he's got now. He's still got stuff up there. See what his stuff is, some training, but it's about repetition. So like do a lot of sets of whatever you do. So if you're doing 5 sets of 20, don't increase, maybe not focus so much on increasing the repetitions, but increasing the sets, because they don't stop. That's the whole thing about how they wear people down, is they keep going, or you go on and go on and go on and go on. Like even when you swim, you'll be swimming for 3 hours, and it won't be 3 hours of swimming. It'll be a 3-hour pool evolution, and the first part will be a 500-meter swim. I mean, this is when you're in training. The first part will be 500-meter swim. And I think this is like phase 1. First part will be 500-meter swim, and then you'll do treading water with no hands for maybe a half an hour or something like that. And then you move on to I think another 500. No, then you move on to like buddy toe, saving your buddy here. If you got somebody like me, you're not gonna be happy, because I was pretty muscular, and that muscle just sinks. Boom. They called me Brick Wolf. In the it was my nickname, because like in the water I was heavy, and the bigger guys were like light. I was not, but yeah. And then after that, you'll do sprints, and then at the end, then you do another 500, and then you'll do sprints at the end. I mean, it's like repetitions. I mean, that's what people broke down a lot. I saw, like, our class leader just broke down during the pool evolution, because I don't know, it was fucking hard. It's like torture. It's just really exhausting. And then so yeah, it's about repetition. So basically, like, go from like 5 sets of 20 to like 10 sets of 20 or something like that. Just keep increasing the repetition. I think that's probably about numbers, because to be quite honest, like they don't. That's the thing. Like you look on these videos and stuff, and it's not a lot of. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of repetition. So I mean, like you said, like you're doing 5 sets of 5 pull-ups or whatever. That's fine. They can't do that many pull-ups. So I was like, you're doing it. So like I would maybe go up to like 8 sets of 5 or something, or if you can, try to get up to 6, because that's your minimum. That's what they always do, like 6 pull-ups minimum. So if you get up to 6, and then increase your sets. And what I would recommend is screen test yourself over and over and over. I mean, for real. Like I was telling my last person who wrote in, was do the screen test, and if you can pass it, great. Time yourself, make sure you meet the times, the time standards. I mean, those I pulled right from the site, so those are the recommendations. If you can't make that, then that's what you should focus on up until you go into boot camp, because when you go in, it's like a little period of time you're not training. You know what I'm saying? Like the first day or 2 or something, I don't even think they got y'all clothes. I mean, it's like the first thing they do is, I think the very first thing they do is put you in a room where you put all your shit in a box and send it home, and then they give y'all all the same clothes, and then you go to your barracks, and depending on the division, like you could be ready to go or not. You may have another couple days before they cut y'all hair. It takes like a while before they take you to the swimming test. And then you do the swimming test, and they pull everybody aside who wants to go for special operation stuff. So screen test yourself to the point where you feel comfortable enough that you can pass the test. It's about the water is a bitch. Okay, like they said, like it's about being comfortable in the water, like not being able to take it. It's like it's impossible. Like just be comfortable so that you don't feel like you're gonna drown, or that you don't panic, or that you don't get fatigued. You be comfortable. Like I think in Stu Smith, like he teaches the combat swimmer stroke, CSS, combat swimmer stroke, and it's a combination of a breaststroke and side stroke. Basically, it's like you start out like almost forward, you push off the wall, and then you're doing like a side stroke, basically coming up for the air, but you're not doing too much movement. Like your shoulders basically pinned to your ear, so you're not doing too much, just enough to come up for air and then go back, and then, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a couple things that he has. I mean, I use Stu Smith's workouts. He did another thing. It's called the, now I might say this wrong. It's called the hypoxy pyramid or hypoxic pyramid. It's one of the two. It's hypoxia or hypoxic. I can't remember. But basically, it's something you do in the pool that helps you with your breathing, because you do, you know, the SEALs, they do a lot of no breathers tests. So you got to go from one end to the pool and back without coming up for air. And I was worried about that for myself because I'd never tried that. The most I think the farthest I could get was like I could go all the way back and halfway to the middle of the pool, and I'd be long way. So, and the hypoxic pyramid was basically like you come up for air, like basically like this. You come up for air 8 times, and then 7 times, and then 6, and then 5, 4, 3 until you get down to you only come up for air 1 time as you're going from one end to the next. I think that's how it works. Not back and forth, but just one way. So one way you might come up 8 times, then coming back you might come up 7 times, and going back 6, 5, you know, like that. And it simulates like a low, I think it's like a high terrain sort of like altitude training environment kind of thing. The same workout your lungs would get if you were working out in like the mountains or some shit. Look it up. It's on that shit. I looked it up recently because I was like, so yeah, basically it sounds like what you're doing is doing pretty good. Increase the sets. The repetitions, they don't make you do a lot of repetitions. It's a lot of sets. So you might just do 10 push-ups. No, for real. Like, you know, you'll go on the beach and you'll do like a, you know, the PT on the beach, right? Because you're right there next to the obstacle course, and then you guys will go do a beach run. I think they do it like in the same day. Yeah, so I mean, you'll do like that right there, and then go do something else like right away. So yeah, I would increase the number of sets that you do, not necessarily repetitions, except with the pull-ups. Minimum is like 6. So if you can do 5, I'm sure you can push out 1 more. It's no big deal. But yeah, if anybody else has any questions, you can write to me on my blog at nevadawolf1.blogspot.com, and I'll answer any questions you have about, if you want to check to see what your training regimen is like. If you have any questions about what questions you might ask from your recruiters, how to get more money, because there's some bonuses that you might be eligible for. I'm sure everybody, you know, maybe now gets the bonus for the SEALs. It's about like an $8,000 or $10,000 bonus, maybe. I could be wrong. College kicker bonus if you have a college degree. I mean, there's different things. If you have any questions, feel free to write and ask. I'll answer them as best as my abilities. And yeah, good luck, and thank you for your service.